Allahu Akbar. One of the greatest things that we can ever hear is the story of someone becoming a Muslim. And I was praying in the masjid today, and I saw a brother after I was finishing the prayer. He was looking at me, and because it's hot, I was wearing short sleeves, and I still have a tattoo from before Islam. And he saw my tattoo, and I know that sometimes people look at the tattoos and they think, they're like, okay, what's going on with this guy? If somebody knows, they know, okay, this guy's a new Muslim, so he probably had this beforehand. So he came over to me. He's like, "Oh, I see you got a tattoo. You're probably a new Muslim." I was like, "Yeah, I'm a new Muslim." He's like, "Oh," he's like, "See this?" And he's like, "Oh, I just got rid of this tattoo." He's like, he had a cross there, and he just got rid of the tattoo. He's like, "I know a guy who can get rid of your tattoo." And I was like, "Wait a second." I was like, "You became Muslim?" He's like, "Yep, yep." He's, man, this guy is awesome. He's got other tattoos as well, but he became Muslim 2 months ago. This guy became Muslim 2 months ago. He's from an Egyptian family. He's actually Egyptian from the Coptic Christians, and he was telling some of his story. Man, this, like, we have it easy in the West. If we become Muslim, like, we have the religious freedom and everything. People don't, like, people aren't gonna like take all of our belongings and throw us out or try to kill us like for becoming Muslim. Like, this is not something that is in America. The most we have to deal with is people like shunning us or not talking to us or being mean to us, or like, these things, or like saying, why aren't you coming to Christmas with us anymore? And, these are our problems, but their problems are like, this guy's about to get killed, and they seriously fear for their lives. This guy, he became Muslim about 2 months ago, and he was telling me a little bit about how he became Muslim. And of course, like, whenever you hear the story of how someone becomes Muslim, it's always something, it just hits your heart. You see, how does Allah guide these people? And of course, when he became Muslim, he told me, he's like, I lost everything. I come from a rich family. It's like, I come from a rich family, and I have uh, all these different connections. Anything I want in the dunya, like, these things can be opened up for me. But he's like, the whole time, I was living as a Christian, I never felt at ease. I never felt at ease. Like, something was always wrong, and I would always have questions for them. And they would always have this saying that they would say is like, don't ask and just listen. Just listen, don't ask, and just do, just that blind faith and whatnot. And so I was hearing him tell kind of his story and whatnot. He's like, man, it's definitely, it was hard. They took away his daughter. Like, this is Allah Musta'an. Like, this is what happens in Egypt when somebody becomes a Muslim from the Christians. They take away their daughter. Like, they take away their kids. They take away all their property. Any property that this person had, they get nothing. They come out of it with nothing whatsoever. Like, this is, like, for me, it's like becoming a Muslim is like great. Like, this was something I was coming up. I was coming up by becoming a Muslim. He had to throw away everything that he owned to become a Muslim. At the same time, he tells me, I have such a peace and relaxation when I go and when I pray, just like the whole dunya is gone. And he's working hard, and he's trying to make himself a life now. From the very beginning, he's going up. But there's something that he has that I didn't have when I was a new Muslim. And this thing is, he knows Arabic. Like, I didn't have this, like, knowing Arabic when I became a Muslim. This was a whole step for me. So because he has Arabic, within 2 months of him becoming a Muslim, he's already memorized Juz Amma. Well, and it's like, Allahu Akbar. This guy, right away started memorizing, and he's like, like, the memorization is something else. He's like, I used to read the Bible and whatnot. We wouldn't really memorize anything, but like 2 months, I've already memorized Juz Amma, and I'm already jumping onto other things. And just the way that he was guided, like, just by hearing the Qur'an, he told me, it's like, the beginning of my of Allah guiding me was me hearing the Qur'an and hearing some ayat from Surah Ta'aruf, and it just hit him. And he was just like, he told me, it's like, I was really drunk. I was really drunk, and I don't know why they turned on the loudspeakers, but the guy was reciting for Salat al-Fajr, and I was just listening to it, and I was like, no, this is something else. I was like, didn't you listen to the Quran when you were young? It's like, no, I didn't really hear it. But of course, like, I always wonder, I was like, for an Arabic speaking person to hear the Quran, there's got to be something. There's got to be like some ta'thir, like, there's got to be some type of effect. That how can an Arab person hear the beauty of the Quran and then still just keep running on their way? Like, of course, like, we hear the Quran, and the sound is beautiful, but what does it mean? Like, do we understand, like, the meaning of it? And like, you have to get a translation and whatnot, and there's a lot of like gaps for like a Western person that doesn't know Arabic to then see the Quran and whatnot. But and this just has like an immediate direct effect on him. And so this is amazing. He's already a student of knowledge, and it's one of the most crazy things is he would walk around, like today I saw him, it's like I just made a new friend, alhamdulillah. And he would walk around and he'd say like, this guy, he's like, this guy, he needs dawah. He was like right away, he's like, this guy needs dawah, he doesn't pray. Let's tell him about it to pray and tell him what he needs to do to pray. And he's like, yes, of course, he's like 2 months into it, but he's telling me like, maybe you shouldn't like throw someone up and throw someone out in the open like this. But at the same time, he wants them to pray. He's like, guys, you don't know what you're missing out. I'm like a new Muslim, I just came and I left everything. And I love praying, and praying is like that connection that we get to Allah. And so just seeing someone like this says, it refreshes the soul, wallah. It refreshes the soul to hear someone's story and how they talk about this, how Allah guided them, and just the backwardsness. One of the questions he said, he told them, he was like in the Coptic Christians are different than like the Protestants, like as my family is back there. But he's like, so I would ask them, I was like, so when we do some type of sin, like, then we go and we pay a price. We pay a price to like some of their people. They have different levels, and so we pay money for our sin to get forgiven. And then when he read in the Qur'an that أموال الناس بالباطل, that from the people of the book are those that eat the wealth of other people without a right. He's like, yeah, I never found anything whatsoever. When he read this, he knew exactly what this is referring to, and it referred to for him, this is referring to the people that take the money for sins to be forgiven as an expiation for sins. Like you give it to their priest or whatever, and then they get rid of the sins. So he's like, wait a second. So those people that take the money, they get their sins they forgive these people's sins, but their people themselves, they still sin. And then so he'd ask them, he's like, so who forgives their sins? And then he came up to the next level, the kahana. Okay, they still sin though, don't they? Yeah. So when they need their sins to be forgiven, who do they go to? He's like, oh, they go to their baba or whatever, like their pope, like their pope or their father, or whatever. And he's like, okay, when he's still a person, he's still walking around the earth, he's eating, drinking, doing his stuff, and he's still making mistakes. Who does he go to? And then they're just like, like crickets, they wouldn't answer him. He couldn't find an answer for that. He's like, man, they couldn't get any answer for this. And it just showed the ridiculousness of what he was in and whatnot. And he eventually, like, he dropped his life, dropped all the things that he had going on, even to the point where he lost his kid because of becoming Muslim. But he said it's totally worth it. He's like, it's totally worth it. And like, he's like, this is something that, this is the truth. He's like, it's the truth. I know that there's a lot of people, he said, there's a lot of people that they are scared. They're scared of what's going to happen if they become Muslim, and that are like the Coptic Christians and whatnot. They don't believe in the Christianity, but they know if they leave, then it's gonna ruin their life and whatnot, and so they don't want to do that. And of course, that's not an excuse. Like that's not an excuse for someone in that situation to remain in kufr. No, it's not an excuse. But it shows that there's a whole lot more pressure than us in the West. Like we can look at what we're in, and we see that it was stupid, and we can see that it had all kinds of problems with it, and then we can look at Islam and see that it's perfect religion. And we can leave it and go to that. Worst we do is we lose friends. That's it. It's not like we're getting cut off from family, getting all of your money taken, like all of your money, any possessions that you had, everything. You lose everything. You got to change your name, change everything. And a lot of times it kills the people. And if it's a woman, this is even worse. There's all kinds of stories about what they do with women that want to become Muslim or try to become Muslim. They sometimes will they'll lock them up and whatnot and do all kinds of things until they try to get them to renounce this. And of course, like it's way worse for a woman who is trying to become a Muslim from over there. But like it's a blessing, like when I see this and I know that Islam is the truth, and you see other people that realize it's the truth, and they'll throw away all the riches that they have. They'll throw away like even until like the custody of his kids. He knows that the truth is more important than living in this type of in this type of batil. Wallahu musta'an. And inshallah, one of these times, I hope I get to sit down with him. I get him to share his story. Of course, he speaks Arabic, like the Egyptian ʿAmma, but mashallah, and inshallah, may Allah guide him and keep him firm on the deen and make him a da'i. And this is something he like thinks about a lot. And of course, everyone around him, he's calling everyone around him to be a good Muslim. And he's like, you guys don't know, we never feel at ease until we came into Islam. Islam is the only way that someone can feel at ease within their heart and between them and within themselves and with Allah.